So UFC 323 just finished about half an hour ago. It is currently 7 a.m. UK time, and it was one of the best cards of the year. One of the best events of the year. It wasn't just the main card, it was also the prelims, and yeah, there was finishes like everywhere. There was a couple of decisions, but there wasn't really any bad fights. And today, or rather just now, I'm going to talk about through the fights on the main card. I actually didn't watch until the. Actually, no, I can talk. I didn't start watching until the Chris Duncan fight because I was doing something else, right? But it was a great card. So many finishes. It was a great way to finish the pay per view era since they're moving to Paramount Plus, and it will be. It's a good send off. Let's just say it's a good send off. It wasn't a dud card. There wasn't any, apart from one fight, which I'll get to. Uh, it wasn't the fight itself. Wasn't a dull performance. Let's just say it was the van fight, the Pantoja van fight ended abruptly, but we'll get to that in a bit. But I'm gonna start off with Duncan versus McKinney. So Chris Duncan versus Terence McKinney. You know, repping Scotland for Chris Duncan like myself, and I was going into supporting him. I thought he was gonna win. I thought he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna get a knockout, which he almost did. Uh, he probably should have got it anyway. Just went for the submission. So he won by submission, as we have here. And I thought Terence McKinney was going to be too chinny because he's been knocked out brutally like three times already in the UFC, like like in the past 2 years. And I just thought that Chris Duncan would just land some power shot. But the fight kind of went how I thought it was going to be because, started off, Terence McKinney came out, Chris Duncan came out, but you could immediately tell like there was a big speed difference. Like Terence McKinney was like way faster than Chris Duncan, and he in that showed he was landing shots faster. He rocked Chris Duncan within like the first 30 seconds, I believe, and he didn't drop him, but he almost did. He was like up against the fence, like all like rocked, and like he's lost his equilibrium, and Chris Duncan kind of, I think it was held on, shot for a takedown, and actually managed to uh, get him down. They managed to get Terence McKenna down. He got back up, and then they started, fighting or started trading again. And then Chris Duncan, they got into like a clinch position, or no, it wasn't a clinch position. It was they were in a clinch position, and then they kind of broke, and Chris Duncan lands this like nice, like kind of short right hand on Terence McKinney, and it kind of like it fell down, and then from there on out, it was literally just like ground and pound up against the fence as they're kind of walking, they're kind of crawling along the fence, and it seemed like Terence McKinney was kind of out of it at that point. Like he was still like moving, but he didn't know where he was, and Chris Duncan couldn't really land like effective shots, I could say. So he went for a. Oh no, sorry, Terence McKinney got up just before that, and he just fell back down. And then Chris Duncan went for a Darce choke, and he got it like immediately because I guess Terence McKinney he just couldn't fight it. He was too rocked. So Chris Duncan wins. He's probably going to get a top 15 fight next. Terence McKinney he lives and stays in the realms of the unranked uh forever probably. He's like the king of getting finished, like in like brutal fights. But no, it was a fun fight for how long it last? 2 minutes 30. Yeah, 2 minutes 30. Why's my face come out of? Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Next fight is Grant Dawson. I'll go a bit quicker. That was a bit longer. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. You kind of could already guess where this one was going. Grant Dawson, who got knocked out by Bobby Green, was against a power striker, a sniper like Manuel Torres, and that kind of was immediately. Well, it actually wasn't immediately. Grant Dawson came out and he was just obviously Grant Dawson's thing is wrestling. He was just throwing overhands like and dipping his head down. It was like the most like I don't know what he was doing. He was like he was scared. Like obviously he's gonna get hit, but it was like he was just scared to not get hit. And yeah, and then Manuel Torres was kind of biding his time, and then he just what was it? Grant Dawson went in for like an overhand, and then he like dipped his head, and as he's kind of coming back, Manuel Torres just unloads with like this 1-2 and just like uh, knocks him down. It was like a flash knockout. Dawson woke back up, but then he just started. He was just like covering up. He was just like done, and then just ground and pound finish. So good for Manuel Torres. He's ranked now. Grant Dawson was number 13 ranked, I want to say. So he'll be in the rankings next week, and it's only up from there. You'll probably get a. Maybe they'll give Chris Duncan Manuel Torres. Who knows? That'd be a good fight. I know they already fought, but you could get a rematch. I think it was Manuel Torres. It was Mexican. Yeah, it was Manuel Torres. Uh, okay, but onto the main card. This is the kind of bigger, bigger things. So Blahovic versus Guskov. It was a good fight. It was. It was. Why is my? I need to get a new face cam. This is horrible. Okay, right. Blahovic versus Guskov. So the fight started out. It was kind of like Yan was like chopping low kicks, and he was chopping low kicks, and then it was kind of back and forth. Like Yan would land good shots, Guskov would land good shots, nothing big. But then Guskov landed like this right hand as Yan was like stepping backwards, and it just dropped him. And then he got into guard. He was all good, and he just was like I think he just survived off his back. I think he got up. I'm not too sure, but he was fine until the end of the round. He got cut open with elbows. He was no, he was getting ground and pounded, and he got cut open with elbows. And then so that was round one, and then round two I think was just kind of back and forth. There was nothing real like significant, nothing of significance in that round. And round three, Guskov got hurt. Like below, I think it was just kind of the same. Like Guskov was like clearly winning. He was clearly like landing bigger shots, and then like Jan like hurt Guskov at one point, and it was like I think it was the last 2 minutes or 1 minute of the fight, and he never managed to capitalize. And yeah, the Blahovic loses unfortunately, and it was close. Like you could, because at the end of round three, Guskov got a no, sorry, not Guskov. Yan got a takedown on Guskov, and people were like, like it was close. Oh my! I completely forgot. It was a draw. It was. I thought it was a win. It was a draw. I forgot about that. Yeah, because it was the first round was a 10-8, second round, and then Yan won the last two rounds. I just completely forgot that it was a draw. So it was a draw, and it was yeah. So Yan won. Oh yeah, there was the eye poke. I think it was in round three. There was like it was like Yan went in and he eye poked Guskov, and he like Guskov was like this, like no, 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 and it's because it clearly looked like an eye poke, and then Yan just like starting to like tee up on him, and like Guskov's looking at the ref, and the ref's like doing nothing. So and then from that, Guskov got taken down at the end of the round. I know that's not like a significant thing, but the judges are like idiots, so they'll probably score that as something, the takedown. But that led to the takedown and the eye poke, and that might have just secured the draw and taken away Guskov's win. So that's what happened. It was a draw. Sucks, but that's what happened. Anyway, so Hudo versus Talbot. This was one of the best fights tonight. This was an amazing fight. It was well, obviously it was Cejudo's last fight, and it was a good way to go out. He showed tremendous heart. It was kind of like a warrior's last battle, last stand against Peyton Talbot, against Frank Ocean's boyfriend. So he they came out. Talbot landed like a big right hand in the first. I want to say it was the first like 2 minutes, and he dropped Cejudo. Cejudo was fine, but or what was it? He got dropped. He was in guard, I want to say. There was one where he got dropped, and it was like, what was it? No, he didn't get dropped. I don't believe. No, he did get. No, no, he got dropped, but he went into guard, I think. And then, uh, yeah, they kind of like it was kind of back and forth. Because Cejudo got up, it was kind of back and forth, and uh, but it was like you could tell how effective the shots of Talbot were. Cejudo would land like good right hands and like kind of enter land good right hands, and that was kind of the story of the first round. It was a knock, you got a knockdown, so that was a Talbot round. Second round, Talbot took down Cejudo. It was like a really nice inside out trip, like the kind of ones that Cejudo does to everyone. This is Cejudo's main trip, and Talbot did him, and he was once he got the takedown, you could see he was like sticking his tongue out and doing all that shit. But uh, it was kind of more back and forward. And then what was it? Just as that round progressed, you could see in Cejudo's face he was getting like busted up badly. Like he had the big swelling cut on his eye, and it was like it wasn't looking good. You can kind of tell what was like he wasn't gonna win. However, in the round three, he kind of like had this like almost like a resurgence where he would like obviously Tablet would still land really good shots, but Cejudo would come back, and you were like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" Like because Tablet was slowing down, Cejudo was always also slowing down, but it was a great fight, and unfortunately Cejudo couldn't get the win. But it was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention the body shot. So basically, I think it was in round two, Cejudo got hit with this like big body shot to the liver, I think it was, or something like that, and then and it like really affected him. And then in round three, Talbot was just loading to like the body. But and then there was one point where I think it was the last minute, maybe 2 minutes. Talbot kicks Cejudo to the body, and it's like he kicks, and it's like the way he goes down. He like hunches down for like it looked like a really painful thing, but he hunches it into like a single leg, but he's like holding it on so Talbot can't like start unloading on him, and it just kind of looks really like it's like just sheer determination, just sheer like you know willpower to because he got hit and he's like still fighting for his leg, and he didn't just like crumble to the ground. So it was actually really like cool to watch. So he'll kind of go out on his shield a bit because he would walk into like firefights a bit, and he would just kind of take it on the chin and stuff like that. And he was doing good. And then the last he done the whole Max Holloway point down thing, and then they were swinging, and Talbot done this like try to set up like a spinning wheel kick, and he missed it. So yeah, and that was that fight. But that was good. Cejudo. It's gonna be a shame never to see him in the UFC again, but hopefully he gets like an an analyst job or something like that because he's actually quite smart. He does like the breakdowns and stuff on his Instagram and that and his YouTube. Anyway, next fight is why is it going too fast? Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. So Tatsuro Taira wins by submission, or sorry, not submission. He was. I'm getting confused. In the first round, was what was it? Moreno had Taira in like he had him in like a triangle for like what seems like 2 minutes. I think it was, and he was like he just had him in it for ages, and he was trying to lock it up, but he just couldn't. And then for the rest of the round, it was kind of back and forward, not too much. And then so it was like whatever. And then round two, like it was kind of the same. And then uh, Tatsuro Taira gets him down, and then he was like he'd like hurt him, and then he just started going ground and pound him, and then the ref stopped it early. Like it was a bit early because Moreno was still kind of moving, but he wasn't really moving. But it was like it's Moreno, you kind of got to give him a chance. But who's the referee? I don't know even know who was it Goddard? It might have been God. I don't think it was Goddard. It might have been Goddard, but it was it was a bit of an early stoppage. I'd say you could kind of find an argument to say it was valid, but I'm not too sure. It was a bit too early for my liking. But yeah, so Moreno loses, Tatsuro Taira wins. He'll probably get, well, he's going to get a title shot. However, he would have got the title shot sooner if the next fight, no, that one, this one, Pantoja versus Van. I was excited for this because I'm a bit of a Van fan, yeah. So it, they come out, what was it? They're kind of just trading for like the first what, like 10 seconds, and then or like 15 seconds, and then Pantoja throws a head kick. It lands right behind Van's ear, and Van kind of like grabs the leg and like is kind of like doing the treetop takedown where you just kind of like push their leg up. And as Pantoja's like spinning to try and like, because he's going down, and as he's like posting, his arm just like goes inwards. It's like, oh, the replay, you could see his like muscles like jiggling and stuff like that. So it was really like, it was quite brutal, but it wasn't a break. People were saying it's like a break. It was a dislocation, and you could tell straight away because you can tell when a break happens. It wasn't a break, and then they confirmed it by saying it was a dislocation. But it's annoying just on the whole thing because it's like we're looking for this fight, and it just like gets it finishes because Pantoja dislocated his arm on a take or while on like post when he's posting from a takedown. And I don't know if anyone else is gonna think this. Probably they will, but Van, what the hell was he doing afterwards? He like landed like one shot, and the reason the takedown happened, or the reason his arm thingied, or his arm, dislocated, I guess was because he did do the takedown, or he initiated the takedown. But it's not really like he as soon as he won, he was like jumping on the fence. Why is he jumping on? I get Obviously I get he's like what, 24, and he was probably shitting himself in the back before they came out for the fight, and he's had all this like relief. But it's like he didn't really win. It was like kind of it was a fluke win, and he's like jumping on the cage, running around, like celebrating so much. Even when he got the belt on him, it was like he was like celebrating so much, and it's like, what's going on? Like, you didn't really win. Come on, this should be like in a perfect world. This is like a no contest, right? But yeah, anyway, Van's the champ. I didn't like the celebration afterwards. I thought it was quite what would you say, inappropriate because of the nature and the way that the fight had finished. It wasn't really a fight, was it? If he's dislocated his arm from a takedown, but whatever. Van's a champ. He's gonna have the rematch with Pantoja, depending how long Pantoja's out. I don't think he'll be out that long. Maybe a couple, like a month or two recovery. Maybe like a couple weeks, because if it's only just a dislocation. Because yeah, it should be fine after that. Because literally none of them took damage apart from Pantoja's arm. They both landed like minimal strikes, and they're gonna rematch. If not, if Pantoja's out for longer, they're going to do Taira Van because Taira just won. Why wouldn't they? Similar timeline, similar time frame to get that fight scheduled. So I think Pantoja will be okay. So they'll do the rematch for that, and uh, yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, Van's a champ. So there you go. And oh, also what I want to mention is like, isn't Van like an American? It's this thing. It's like these guys who live in America, and they have like they've like been born in America, or like they've lived there for like their whole life, and it's like he like shouts out Myanmar in the post fight thing, like Myanmar, everyone's gonna know us and stuff like that. And it's like, mate, you're living in the USA, you have an American accent. What's with all this like? This is the thing with like no one can assimilate into into America or whatever. Like they just always shout out whatever ethnic country that their parents are from, whatever. And so I don't know, but that's a little thing I got annoyed at. But yeah, now main event time, cinema, absolute cinema for Piotr Jan. He is the champ again. Petr Yan's a champ. Who would have thought? Remember that? What was it? 3 fight losing streak, 4 fight or 4 losses in 5 fights because he was interrupted by the Sandhagen win. I remember when he lost to Merab, it was like, what is it, like Merab, like Jan's never touching the belt again. Like it's over. Like no one's getting past Merab when that first fight happened, and yeah, he just came back and he's got 3 wins, and now he just dominated. I want to say dominate. I'm gonna say dominated. Dominated is like the right word to use, especially in those later rounds. He dominated Merab. He The first round was a bit iffy. Well, it wasn't iffy, but I'm so happy that Jan is a champ again because I don't mind Merab, but he's like every time you know what's gonna happen, and it's not that entertaining because he just does do the whole wrestling and kneeing against the thigh. My mic turned off, but we yeah, we seen like vintage Jan, but the thing is, obviously Jan, if you want to say decisions for Jan, the same as they do Merab, but watching Jan like box is like the best thing ever. It's like if you got like the purest narcotic drug and 10 kilograms of it, it's the same kind of high you get from that. And Jan just like, so in the first round, it was just Jan, he was kind of testing it out. He was getting pushed up against the fence. He landed a big shot on Merab, I want to say. I think that was the first round, but uh, Merab landed a couple overhands, and he was getting pushed up against fake cage, so there wasn't too much damage, but it kind of, I think they kind of control, and Merab was doing well with like maybe like kind of pitter patter shots, I guess you want to say. But yeah, so that was the first round. Second round was what happened in the second round again? I think that was like a bit of an even round. It was like I think Jan hurt him in round two. I want to say like he kind of hurt him in round two, but not 100%. I think he did like maybe rock him for a second, but I think it was more of a control round for Merab as well. So it was a bit iffy because I think one judge gave it to Merab, one judge gave it to Jan, but I think he did rock him in that round, which why they gave it to him. So I'm fine with that. And what was it? Actually, no, I'll just get through this. So, and then round three, I think it was round three where he hurt him with the body shot. So basically, Jan hit him with this big body shot, big left kick right to the liver, and Merab like audibly screams, like audibly shouts in pain, and he's like backing up, and it was like I thought from there on out it was like there was going to be a finish because the way he like held his body and screamed, I don't know if it was fake. I don't know if he was trying to like bluff, but I doubt it because the way he was moving back. But he hurt Marab like really badly to the body, and that won him that round. Round four and five were like massacres. Round four and five was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Russian Chainsaw Massacre from Yan, and he rocked Marab like 5 times or 4 times or between those two rounds, and he kept going to the body. He kept seeing Marab like hold his body every time Yan would go for it or strike to the body, upon but do a body shot. Why can't I get that out? But and then oh yeah, the takedown defense of Yan is like nothing we've ever seen before. He literally managed to completely change his takedown defense from that first fight, and it's like amazing. Marab went like 30 for what was it? 30, like something like 30 takedown attempts, and he got like two, maybe three, because Yan, although he would hold Yan up against the cage, Yan did a much better job of like just not stopping the takedown just completely. He would like get lifted up, but he would like really well. balance on one leg and he would like stop the takedown. And then also he would like what was it? He would do really well at separating the hands, so it's like it's not as if he was just getting held up against cage, takedown, back up. He would, or like not even the takedown, but he's just getting held there. He wasn't getting held there. Sometimes he did, but a lot of times he managed to break or he managed to get out of it and stuff like that. And yeah, round 4 and 5 was like amazing because it was like Marab's face. He's got like a big cut over his nose, cut over his eye, like he's all swollen, and it I don't know. I'm so happy that he won. I can't get the words out because it's like I was wanting him to win, and he's like such a. He's just so fun to watch. Round 5 was what happened round 5? It was like the Piotr Jan show. It was literally just Merab failing panic shooting takedowns. I think he rocked Merab really badly in round 5 as well. It was like you could see him stumbling around and stuff, and Jan was just going for finish. He was doing like spinning stuff and all that, and trying to do like spinning back fists and like he started going for head kicks as well. They didn't really land. I think they were getting blocked, but they were still like he was still going for it because he just knew Marab couldn't do anything because Marab's striking was like uh, nullified at that point. There was nothing he could do in his wrestling as well because he was so tired, and it was it was good. I can't really say anything other than that. But that's kind of my overview, my recap of UFC 323. If you like this video, please like and sub. It really helps out. Cringy to say yes, I'm gonna change that. Just like and sub, thanks. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.